Good Sunday afternoon, Facebook and YouTube land. Guess what time it is? It's 2 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock. It's time to rock. And when it's time to rock, we're going to talk a little sports. I am Kendrick, the sports guy, your sports host, excuse me. You're watching the best 30-minute sports talk show on the social media streets. Again, I am Kendrick, the sports guy with TFG Sports Media. We got to set our house rules. You know what the rules are when you come into the house of TFG Sports Media. You make sure you come in, you like the broadcast, make sure you share this broadcast to all your social media platforms, and make sure you comment. That's most important. Comment, let me know you here, let me know you're watching, and so we can talk a little bit of sports. I'm also live on TikTok right now. Got some TikTok family going on over here, so if you see me turning away, I'm also live on my phone over here on TikTok. And I'm live with you on my laptop right here on Facebook and YouTube. So again, I hope everybody is having a good Sunday, and I hope you're having a great weekend. We've had great weather all weekend here in Texas. I'm not complaining. Look like we about to get into the springtime stuff, and I am happy about that. CC has joined us on YouTube. How you doing, Carol Chamberlain? That's one of my faithful viewers. I appreciate your support as always. Thanks for dropping in. I hope you are having a great Sunday. So again, make sure you come in, like, subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell as well to be alerted when new content is headed your way on TFG Sports Media on YouTube, as well as Kendrick Sports Hustle. And if you so desire, if you want to contribute to helping build this sports platform, there's a little dollar icon, I think, there, or a little thank you. You can donate to the channel. It's going right back into it. I'm investing in it, investing in myself to get more laptop, get another laptop, get some other equipment where I can go out and shoot and edit and create my own content. So if you would like to contribute to the channel, you can also hit me on my Cash App as well. That's $1969 Kendrick. Now, TikTok, I see you over here. Everybody's joining. Same there. If you want to, make sure you subscribe to the channel. You can also donate if you'd like to the platform at my Cash App. That's $1969 Kendrick. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the sports thing. Let's talk about the NBA. Today is the last regular season game for the NBA, and I don't know how you viewing it. I don't know how people are looking at it at this point. Who are the top teams? Well, we already know the Boston Celtics. They ended with the best record in the league. And you can see that on YouTube as I got it scrolling in the ticker. They've already locked up the #1 seed in the East. So everything is going to go through Boston in the Eastern Conference playoffs. But there's still some other things up for grabs. Again, today is the last day of the regular season in the NBA, and we still got some jockeying for positions going on in both conferences. So it's going to be interesting to see. I did see before I came on that the 76ers, they're holding out Joel Embiid. He will not play today. So that could be a little tricky for them because they were still trying to jockey for a playoff position. Right now, they're not in the play-in game. They're okay with that. Well, actually, no, they're number 7. They're number 7 seed. So technically, it depends on what Miami and Chicago and Atlanta do. I mean, they're going to be probably in the play-in game, but if the teams ahead of them, the 6th seed would lose or anything like that, there could be some issues with that. So again, the Eastern Conference side is pretty much set. Again, Boston with the #1 seed, the Bucks, I believe, at the #2 seed as well. I just think when you look at the Eastern Conference, I think it's Boston and everybody else. I think everybody else is packed in there together. I think Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Then with them adding Drew Holiday, that's gave them some veteran stability and leadership as far as in Boston. So right now, are they the team to beat? They definitely the team to beat in the East. But I think you got to look at New York and Cleveland too. But the thing with New York, they lost Julius Randle. They lost him for the season. So that's a big part of their offense that they're not going to have. But in Cleveland, they've been playing well down the stretch too. So I say the Eastern Conference definitely is top heavy. I think again it's Boston and Milwaukee, and then I think the Cavaliers could have something to say in this playoff picture on the east side. So But I think that Boston is the team to beat. Can they get there and get it done? That's the only thing. Can they get to the finals and see if they can get it done? CC says that's not going to be good for the Sixers. They need the big man, that big man. Yeah, but I think they looking at the big picture. CC, I think they rather save him for the playoffs rather than put him in a game that could be technically meaningless at this point, because it looks like they pretty much, the Sixers are locked in at that 7th seed, which they're going to be in the play-in game anyway. So why play him when you know you're going to be in the play-in game? So to jeopardize him. I mean, so I can understand that. Now, if they had a shot to maybe move up to the 6th or 5th seed, which I still think they have outside shot, but they need a whole lot of stuff to happen there, then maybe I would have played them. But I think they'd rather just stay put, take their chances in the play-in game rather than put him out there and get him hurt. Because I don't think Joel Embiid is really 100%, CC. But again, I think he wants to play, and I get that. It's playoff time, so everybody's kind of banged up at this point. So you want to put your best foot forward. So let's move to the Western Conference. Now, this is something that hasn't happened ever in the NBA history. The number 1 seed in the Western Conference is up in the air. We got 3 teams that's tied for the number 1 seed in the West: the Thunder, the Nuggets, and the Timberwolves. Again, that's the first time that 3 teams have been tied for the number 1 seed in a conference through 81 games. Now, if you don't know, the top 6 teams from each conference get playoff spots. Teams 7 through 10, they enter the play-in tournament, which will begin on Wednesday. And that lasts between from Wednesday to Friday. Now, eventually the playoffs will be 8 teams. It will be 8 teams, 8 from the Eastern Conference, 8 from the Western Conference, and the playoffs will start April the 20th. Now, like I was saying, only 5 of the 20 postseason series have been locked in. And the only one that's locked in is in the West. That's number 4 seed, LA Clippers. They will play. They will host. They got the home court. They will host number 5 seed Dallas Mavericks. So again, never had this happen in the history of the NBA, where we go into the last game in the regular season, and the number 1 seed is up in the air for the West. Now, who do I think is going to get it? They all need to win just to give them a shot, because nobody, outside of, I think the Nuggets is probably going to eventually get that number 1 seed. They're the reigning defending champ. I think they will. But the Timberwolves, they've been playing some heck of a basketball. And it's funny, I just read something about the Timberwolves before I came on, that their ownership, I saw a YouTube sports creator. I'll take that back. I didn't see it in an article. They're saying it's a rumor that the Minnesota Timberwolves ownership may look to trade their max player, who is, by the way, Anthony Edwards, who is probably one of the most exciting young guys in the league. And they're thinking about trading. Now, again, none of this has been confirmed. They're thinking about trading him because they don't want to have to pay any luxury tax. Now, you got to be kidding me. Your best player on your roster, probably one of the better players you've had in years, the most electric, that's filling the seats, and you thinking about trading him because you don't want to pay a luxury tax? Come on, Minnesota. Now, that's why, if that's really true, then you guys are really, really double dribbling. You traveling. Yeah, and I meant the puns. Yeah, y'all double dribbling, y'all traveling, and y'all need a technical foul. So if that's the case, again, that's not been confirmed. I just happened to see that. And so, but they're fighting for that number 1 seed to secure home court all through the Western Conference playoffs. So we'll see. And then the OKC Thunder. Who would have thought we would be talking about the Thunder trying to get a number 1 seed? All the transitions that franchise has been, from losing, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, trading players, gathering all these draft picks that they have. They have buco draft picks, the Thunder does, from making all these trades. Now they got one of the better players in the league too, with Gilchrist. So K. Algis Gilchrist. I think I'm screwing his name up, but you know what I'm talking about. But so to have the Thunder looking to get that number 1 seed, that definitely is a shock, and nobody saw that coming as well. So those three teams, the Nuggets, Timberwolves, and the OKC Thunder, looking for the number one seed. And as you can see in the ticker, the Western Conference, the playing teams for that, we know the Lakers. Looks like it's going to be the Lakers, Golden State, and who else at the bottom of that? I know the Lakers and Golden State. I can't think of the others. I'll let this ticker come back. But so the Lakers is the team that everybody looks at. And this is the second year in a row that they're going to be in the play-in tournament. Obviously, they did make it to the Western Conference Finals last year. So you don't want to count them out, so to speak. But I don't know what to say about the Lakers. I don't know about to say Golden State either. But they still got superstars on their team. So anytime that gives you a chance, Oh, Phoenix. Yeah, Phoenix is the 7th seed. Lakers are the 8th seed. Sacramento is the 9th seed. And Golden State is the 10th seed. So, but everybody eyes is going to be on the Lakers. Now, they play the Pelicans here, and they tip off at 2:30. So that game means something, because the Lakers, if they beat the Pelicans, they could find a way in the six and the two teams ahead of them in the 6th and 5th seed. If they find a way maybe to lose or some other things happen, the Lakers could play themselves. They could get out of that play-in tournament and possibly get the 6th seed. But that's going to take a whole lot of help from those other teams. So the Western Conference again is top heavy, is loaded. I don't think there's I think the Nuggets are the favorite to come out the West. I think the Clippers, they could be dangerous. I think the Clippers can be dangerous as well. If they can keep Kawhi healthy, if they can stay healthy, I think the Clippers can be dangerous in this Western Conference. But I think the Nuggets and the Timberwolves are going to really be the teams to beat to be coming out of the West. So it'd be interesting. So will we have a Boston/Denver rematch in the finals, or are we just putting the horse before the cart, or the cart before the horse, however they go? Or is Milwaukee going to have a say-so? Is Milwaukee going to have a say-so in there, as well as Cleveland and New York, as far as, Boston coming out of the East? In the West, is it going to be Denver and Minnesota and OKC? And everybody else got to try to figure out how to beat them. So, again, I think this season the NBA is wide open on both sides. But I do think the Boston Celtics overall is the favorite to win it. So I'd like to know what you guys think. Who you got going? Do you think the Lakers going to make another run? Could this be LeBron's last year in La La Land? The word is he could opt out if his son, Bronny James Jr., if he enters the draft and is drafted, he could opt out and want to go play wherever his son is. So that's a possibility. Will that happen? Will he be done in Lakerland? I know a lot of Laker fans probably would be happy to hear that, and then some that may not. A lot of Laker fans, true Laker fans kind of don't. They feel some type of way about LeBron. They kind of iffy. They like him and they don't. I think it's a love-hate relationship that true Laker fans have with LeBron. So we'll see with that. Again, NBA Finals, NBA playoffs, kick off April the 20th. We got last regular season games going on today. Again, the Pelicans and the Lakers, they tip off at 2:30. We do have the Knicks and the Bulls. They are playing right now, and those games will be on ESPN, not on ABC, just ESPN. Now let's move on. Let's stay in the NBA, and we're talking about a story that kind of caught me off guard. I didn't realize that Mr. Nate Robinson was going through some health crisis. If you don't know, former NBA player Nate Robinson, who played 11 seasons in the NBA with 8 different teams. He was a slam dunk contest winner 3 times. Only NBA player to win a slam dunk contest 3 times. He won it back-to-back, 2009 and 2010. He won it first in 2006, where he's fighting renal kidney failure. And he's been fighting this since 2018. Now, he goes through dialysis 3 days a week, 4 hours each session. And the reason for his kidney failure issue, when he was playing in the league, back when he was with the Knicks, he was diagnosed with high blood pressure. And according to what Nate Robinson said, that they would try to the trainers and all that would try to get him on board with making sure that he can have his blood pressure checked and make sure he's on top of that. And Nate Robinson would say that no, you're not. I want to play. I'm not doing all this. So he basically neglected his high blood pressure issue all these years, and now it's caught back up with him. And he said that if he doesn't get a kidney transplant soon, that he doesn't have much time to live. So again, he's been fighting this issue since 2018. So going on 6 years. Then he finally came out and made it public in 2022. So my heart goes out to Nate Robinson. When I think about him, obviously 5'8", quick as lightning, could jump out the gym, explosive. He also played football. If you didn't know, he played college football at the University of Washington. He probably was a better football player than basketball player, but he was a pretty good basketball player. Again, could jump out the gym, always high energy, always. And then to see him, because I thought something was wrong when I was watching the Big Three a couple of years ago, and he was doing some commentary for him, and they cut to a shot of him. I said, "Oh wow!" I said that Nate Robinson looked different. I said he looks different, man. So Carol CC says, I pray he gets an organ soon. I do too. And this brings me to that too. A lot of people of color, and that's one of the things that we don't do. We don't do organ donations or anything like that. And I think we do have to do a better job of doing that, of being an organ donations or whatever. So I know when I posted this story, some people will put in the comments that they would definitely they want to help him. I don't know if Nate Robinson will ever see that story, but I appreciate those commenters that put in there that, hey, I want to get checked out to see if I'm a match, because you definitely have to be a match for you to be able to donate a kidney. So, salute to those commenters that put that. If anyone that knows Nate or relative of his, if you see this story on TFG Sports Media or on TikTok, there's some people that commented and say they would be willing to get checked. So I think that's awesome that people would do that. Again, Nate Robinson was that he was a light, he just was one of those dudes that you could take your eyes off of when he was on the court, because he was a gnat, as they say. He gonna get in, he gonna get under you, and he's gonna make it known that he's on the court. But he don't want people to feel sorry for him. I did read a comment. He said, well, he goes to dialysis 3 times a week. And he said that he sits next to a lady who's blind, and her son brings her. And he said, I look at her situation and I have to be thankful for what God has given me. He said, this lady here sitting next to me, she's blind. And not only that, she's doing dialysis just as much as I am. She needs a kidney too. He said, at least I can still walk, I can still talk, I can still eat. Sometimes I may feel a little down. He said, but it gave me this point of, I thank God for just blessing me to still have life. So I hats off to Nate Robinson for having that attitude, because he did say he went through some dark moments. He did say when he first was diagnosed, he said I was depressed. He said I didn't want to come outside. I just I felt like giving up. But then he said he had to work himself out of it, and now he's where he is now. So again, we definitely praying for Nate Robinson. We hope he can find a match. I know sometimes that can take forever, finding a match for when you talk about kidney donations. But again, we sure hope the 39-year-old Nate Robinson, only 39 years old too, we hope that he finds that. And then this is a caution to all of us, man. Stay on top of your health. Don't ignore those signs. Don't think you're invincible. And that's one thing about athletes, I think. When you're young and you athletic and you think you're invincible, you think, hey, I'll be all right. Ain't nothing gonna happen. But eventually you're gonna become old if you keep having born days. So you gotta take care of your body. You gotta listen to your body when something is not right. So again, we definitely shouting out Nate Robinson, wishing him much success, and hopefully he can get a donation soon. Make sure you like and subscribe to TFG Sports Media if you haven't already. Subscribe, hit that subscription button, comment, all that good stuff. So now we're gonna move on. We're moving on to the NFL, and man, listen, I know this probably this is gonna either go one way for some people. Some people don't care or some people has some sort of compassion. Now, look, we know OJ, the late OJ Simpson, Hall of Fame running back. If you didn't know, he passed away from prostate cancer on Wednesday at the age of 76. As great, he was great, as great as he was on the field, all the accolades that you can see in the ticker, he was a complex individual off of the field. Now, his football achievements speak for itself. He won the Heisman Trophy in 1968, was the #1 draft pick of the Buffalo Bills in 1969. He was the first NFL running back to rush for over 2,000 yards in a season, and it was a 14-game season then. And most of us growing up, I know me as a youngster, when you talked about running backs, because I wasn't old enough to see Jim Brown play, so I wasn't old enough. I wasn't around when he was playing because I was born in 1969. But the first running back, I can honestly say that I was like, yo, he got that he got that juice, no pun intended, was OJ Simpson. And I think most of us can say growing up, young fellas, that OJ was the guy. Because during that time, NFL, it was a running league. The running back was the marquee position in the NFL in the 70s. And who he did it better than anybody at that point. Then, Walter Payton would come along in the mid-70s, and Tony Dorsett and some others, Franco Harris, others would come along. But O.J. Simpson was the standard bearer at that point. When you talk about running backs, then he would move away from the field. He would retire in 1985. He would move into the broadcast booth. He was one of the first African-American athletes, he and Irv Cross, they would move over to sports broadcasting. He did some things on sideline for Monday Night Football. He also was the first athlete that I remember as a little youngster that had a national commercial. Hertz. He was running through airports, jumping over suitcases for Hertz. So, I mean, just all this, that was impressionable on a young black kid like myself and so many others. So his accolades, his on the field stuff, bar none. You can't take anything away from what he accomplished on the field. Now, again, when we talk about off the field, obviously that's controversial. OJ, he will become part of a trial that was named the trial of the century. When he was acquitted in the deaths of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman. And I did read an article on yesterday that Ronald Goldman's dad, Ron Goldman Sr., I believe, they're going to go after his estate. They're going to go after the $33.4 million that the civil suit that they filed, and they found him. They found the late O.J. Simpson. They found him guilty of that, found him liable, but he's never paid a red cent of that at this point. OJ's attorney in this same article said that he's going to fight this tooth and nail, and he don't want to pay the he don't want to pay the Browns nor the Goldmans 1 red cent of OJ's estate. Now, I don't know what the value of OJ's estate is right now, but I'm sure it's probably in the hundreds, millions, I'm sure. So that's going to be probably the next story that's going to be out. Regardless of what you think about if he did it or he didn't, OJ was a controversial figure. Then he would eventually go to prison for stealing his own stuff. Some people would say that karma is real. He got what was coming to him. And some would say, they got him on some ticky-tack. It depends on how you view OJ. There's been a lot of comments about OJ's death. Most of the ones I've been seeing from media people, well, not media people, just some people in the entertainment industry, they've been kind of out there. Stephen A. Smith has pretty much said that he felt OJ was guilty and this and that, and he had something to say. And Caitlyn Jenner, she said good riddance. And someone else said something to that effect too. So again, as much of a great football player OJ was, he was just as controversial off the field as he was on. CC says He made his children sign an NDA. I could see that, and I get that. That makes sense. Carol says all karma is not bad karma. That is true too, CC. But you know, some people ain't looking at it like that. I'm just saying. Hey, I'm just the messenger, Carol. This is not my opinion. I'm just saying on my observation of what I've seen that some people have said karma is real because you know that's what karma means. Is a lot of times what goes out comes back to you. But again, Carol, you make a good point. Sometimes it could be good. Karma can be good too. You're right about that. So I definitely agree with that. CC says Caitlyn Bruce Jenner used to be friends, I know, with him, and now she says good riddance. Yeah, I know that. That's interesting. Yeah, I know, Kitty. I'm just saying, yeah, no, I don't know what you're saying. I agree with you. You're right. Karma can be good or bad because sometimes if you do good, good comes back. So that karma is a good karma. So you're right. I definitely agree with you. Now that I would look at karma a whole different way because karma doesn't always have to be bad. So you're right, CC. Thanks for the enlightenment. So again, my thoughts on the death of OJ. I think we lost a legendary football player. You know, just last year we lost another legendary running back. Well, it's coming up on a year, Jim Brown, who was the standard bearer before OJ. So now, you know, OJ Simpson, again, he died on Wednesday from prostate cancer at the age of 76. Like I say, again, you know, great football player. You can't deny his accolades, what he did on the field. You may have some issues with some of his off the field things, but again, that's somebody's father. That's somebody's granddaddy. That's somebody's brother. So again, I kind of look at it that way. And you know, my comment is, but that trial, this picture, I think right here, that picture is going to be the one that a lot of people remember OJ as, and they're going to take from. Because let's be honest, that trial, which I remember everywhere I was when the verdict came down. I was working at the ABC affiliate in Tyler, Texas. We were at a radio station waiting on reaction, and you can see the different reactions from black folks and white folks. You know, and that really changed the trajectory, I believe. This country's always had somewhat of a race issue, but I think that trial changed the whole trajectory of race relations, and that's kind of where we are right now. CC says, yes, Jim Brown was great football player. He opened up a way for others to follow. You're right. Yeah, on the field and off the field, CC. He was big in the civil rights movement. That is Jim Brown, that is. He always was there supporting Muhammad Ali when he decided not to go into the draft, as well as Bill Russell and others that were there. So he always that was Jim Brown. But again, the trial of the century, O.J. Simpson, and it's a lot of the people from this trial that's no longer with us. You know, you wanted to see reactions. I didn't know if Christopher Darden, I think he's still alive, the assistant DA under Marshall Clark, but obviously O.J.'s lawyers are all deceased. All the ones that represented him, the late great Johnny Cochran, who came up with the, you know, with the saying, if it don't fit, you must quit. A lot of that, Judge Ito, a lot of these people became household names after this trial, you know. So again, O.J. Simpson, legendary running back, Hall of Famer. Some call him a menace. I think that's a little harsh, but he passed away again on Wednesday from prostate cancer at the age of 76. So, all right, guys, we're getting down to the last of the show, and this is what we call freestyle. I'm going to freestyle a little bit. A story I posted yesterday, matter of fact, CC is here. The Hall of Famer Allen Iverson had a statue unveiling on Friday in front of the Philadelphia 76ers practice facility. And some people on social media was in their feelings because it was small. And I looked at it too at first, and I said, well, dang, that's a small statue. I was like, why they do my man like that? But after I found some other information and dug into it, it wasn't just Allen Iverson's statue that's small. All the other 9 76ers greats that he joined in front of the practice facility. All their statues are the same size. I guess that's how the 76ers wanted to do it. It's called Legends Way, I believe it's called. Legends Walkway. So they got Allen Iverson makes the 11th one, I believe, that joined Legends Walkway, but all of the statues are the same in front of the Philadelphia 76ers practice facility. So everybody that was feeling some type of way, you can chill out. It ain't just it's all of them like that. And then Allen Iverson didn't have a problem with it. He wasn't upset. So, okay, get over it. So again, I thought that was funny. People was doing that, and even Allen Iverson wasn't there. But it got me to thinking about the greats, because matter of fact, CC, and I loved our back and forth about the greatest 76ers in history. Now, I said this. I think the two greatest 76ers, that I'm talking about the organization. I ain't talking about in the NBA. I'm talking about only the 76ers organization. I think the greatest 76ers are Dr. J and Wilt Chamberlain, and probably Charles Barkley will be in that mix. And I think Allen Iverson will be right behind him. I think those are the four greatest 76ers to ever play. And you know what's funny? The only one that played his whole career with the 76ers was Dr. J, and he didn't even begin his career with the 76ers. He began his career in the ABA. I just wanted to make that known, CC. I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but I still think Allen Iverson, when you talk about great 76ers, he's right there. He's like number 4, in my opinion. I just think that. I think he's better than some of the other ones that's on the Legends Walkway. But I think those that are there as far as the 76ers, those are great players too that's came through the Philly arena. And I was a Philadelphia 76er fan when I was a youngster living in Milwaukee. I know that's funny. I like the Bucks, but I was more of a 76er fan because I love Dr. J. He was my first. He and Muhammad Ali was the first athletes that I idolized growing up. So I always liked the Sixers, and I hated the Celtics. So every time the Sixers and Celtics, because we would see them a lot on television, I'm like, man, can we beat these green? I hated the Celtics. I don't too much care for them now, but the distaste for them has subsided a little bit. Let me see what Cece had to say. Cece says let me see what she said. He was a great Sixers, Kenny. I can't take that from him. I know you can. I know you, CC. I know. And see, the reason why I'm going back and forth with CC, she's from Philly, if I'm not mistaken. Who else? Carol says, she said, I love Pistol Pete, Earl the Pearl, etc. I think Pistol Pete is one that doesn't get enough love, CC. I think when you talk about ball handlers, and Earl the Pearl too, I think when you talk about ball handlers, I think Pistol Pete was the one that changed the game when he came in from LSU. He was doing his thing. So again, that's my thing with Allen. The answer, the AI, not this other AI. He's the real AI, the answer. So again, they did their thing. And also, again, if you didn't, you can check out this story I posted. Booyah. Yeah, booyah. And the cooler than the other side of the pillow. My guy, the late great Stuart Scott. Word is out that 30 for 30 is putting a documentary together. ESPN Films is going to drop sometime. Don't know the date on it, but keep your eye out on that. And again, like I said in the piece, go check it out on TFG Sports Media if you hadn't seen it. I said that he was probably one of the guys that I wanted to emulate to be in front of this microphone, Stuart Scott, because he the one brought hip hop and sports together with the way he did his show, with the catchphrases and all that. He was unapologetic. He was authentic of who he was. So look for that. 30 for 30 is coming on the late, great Stuart Scott, who, in my opinion, was one of the greats, one of the best to ever do it. And that's the guy that I try to emulate. So again, this has been your TFG Sports Media sports show with your guy, Kendrick, the sports guy. Make sure if you watch this later, you comment later, like, subscribe, share this to all your social media channels. Also, make sure if you want to contribute, there's a little sign there. You can contribute to the platform. You can hit my Cash App at $1969. That's shown there. You can see that, and you can hit me there as well. Again, go check out some of the other stories on the platform. CC says, I really want to see that documentary. I do too, CC. You can go check out some of the other stories on the platform and do all that. DJ Dwayne Juice on TikTok. How you doing, good brother? You caught the tail end. I'm about to get out of here. But again, I want to thank everybody for dropping in. CC, love you to life. Appreciate you always supporting, always watching, doing that. I appreciate that. And before I get out of here, I will be remiss. I gotta wish our oldest son, Kendrick Jr., my namesake, a happy 31st trip around the sun. Today is our oldest. Happy 31st trip around the sun. I know his mother, peace be upon her, Bridget Annette, is smiling down on our oldest son, and she's singing happy birthday to our baby boy. And I got to say happy birthday to Bridget Annette. Continue on your peaceful journey, love, because today was her birthday, but today was our son's born day. So I got to celebrate her as well. So I got to say happy 31st trip around the sun to my oldest, Kendrick Jr. Thank you, Carol, for the donation. I appreciate that. Appreciate your support, everything. I appreciate that. Got to say that. DJ Dwayne Juice, happy birthday to your youngin'. I appreciate DJ Dwayne Juice. Much love, much support, brother. And I also got to say on tomorrow, I got to wish a happy early born day to my late aunt Lenny Ruth Reed Walker. On tomorrow, she would have been 87 years young. We lost her back in 2018. So I got to wish my paternal aunt, Lenny Ruth Reed Walker. I know you're looking down on me, Auntie. Appreciate you. I feel your spirit. Got to wish her a happy born day, eternal born day as well. So I'm getting that out the way early. I would have to wish her a happy eternal born day as well. So again, Carol, CC, thank you for the donation. Thank you for wishing my son a happy born day. DJ Juice, want to thank you for that as well. And I'm going to get out of here. But before I got to get out of here, I got to say it's always a great day to be a Packers fan. So on that note, I will see you on the other side and on the next report. I am your guy, Kendrick, the sports guy. I am out. Peace.